Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 140 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today, I wanted to do a tribute. Sorry, I'm already getting emotional. Excited and emotional, but I'm trying not to get overwhelmed. I want to do a tribute to Lenny Lilac. Lenny Lilac? Lilac? It's pronounced like the flower. But see, I don't know what the flower is. I don't know. But I just want to call him the person I love the most, or Lenny, or partner. I just want to call him all that. So what happened was, there was a time, I believe it was either 2010 or 2011, and I had an apartment, and the cameraman was young, and I took a little hiatus from wrestling, but I had some of the boys over to watch, I believe it was WrestleMania, it might have been Royal Rumble, I think it was WrestleMania. So we had a bunch of people there, and Eddie Osborne walks in with this gentleman I've never met before, Lenny. So we didn't really talk, we shook hands and whatnot, and I wish we would have, because it turns out we had a lot in common, but anyways, so eventually, fast forward to, I started going to the shows at the Alpine Club. And here was this Lenny guy. And I took the cameraman, and it was a show with Carlito on it. And the cameraman was he liked wrestling at this point, so we just went to watch. I'm like, hey, I know some of the guys, we can go watch. And Carlito's gonna be there, and he wrestled Jimmy King. And after the match, Carlito said something nice to the cameraman, and then Jimmy King had I think it was the Ontario belt, and he took a picture with the cameraman, and now, until that day, Jimmy King was his favorite wrestler. And then Jimmy King says to me something, I was like, hey, I used to wrestle for PWA, and he's like, hey man, you should get back into it or something. He said something nice to me anyway, and I met Lenny again, and I was like, hey Lenny, and Lenny was doing a lot of work with the shows and whatnot, and he was always polite to me, and very nice, and very encouraging. And then I took the cameraman to another show, and it was the one where Jeff Black wrestled Tommy Dreamer. And I went up to Tommy Dreamer to get a picture from him, and I was like, oh, he probably doesn't know you because you're not in the video games. I'm like, he doesn't watch wrestling, he knows the video games. And Dreamer was like, I'm in the video game, and I'm like, well, not the one that he has. He only has like the one WWE, it was like WWE 13 or something. I'm like, no offense, I'm not trying to offend you, like, I'm a huge fan, but the cameraman doesn't know you, but he will one day, so give him an autograph picture. So I paid for an autograph picture, and I met Lenny again, and Lenny was like, oh, when are you going to come back? And I was like, oh, well, soon, I've been thinking about it, so let's do a little bit more fast forwarding. Eddie Osborne says he's having his farewell Ontario match, he's going back to BC, and I'm like, dude, I've been wanting to get back into this, but no more waiting around, I better do it now. So I got myself into the match, and then, people said they were okay with what they saw and whatnot. I don't know who pushed for me or whatnot, but Lenny does have quite a bit of stroke. He does a lot of the management, he sells a lot of tickets, does a lot of advertising, helps people with shirts, gets the word out. He does a lot. Whether he gets the credit he deserves or not, or the money or not, he does a lot to help the shows. He's really helped put us on the map in Kitchener. He's like, he knows half the town. So anyway, and he got a lot of the hookups for people too, like sponsors and some of the Rogers guys and a lot of fans he bring in. So I come back after that and I start wrestling. I did a match with like Rex Atkins and Tyler Loveman, or Tyler Thomas? Tyler. And we do a three-way match, and I'm experimenting with being the silly Cuba, the one that I'm usually scared to bring out, and I would only bring out when no one else is around. Well, I'm starting to try and bring this character out, and Lenny is encouraging to me. And then I have a match with Lance Malibu for the Pure Violence Championship, and I managed to get over in it, and the crowd is behind me. And I'm like, yes, this may actually work. And Lenny says the nicest things to me. I'm like, I didn't know if he even liked me or knew me or thought I was good, but he was like, you're a star, man. You're one of the best faces, and he's telling me these things, and I don't think people realize how much it means to people. Well, maybe not for other people, but for me anyway. When someone says a nice compliment about you, or especially about your wrestling, when that's the thing you care about almost more than anything other than cameraman, I'm a sensitive person. I'm an emotional person. So if someone gives me a compliment, I don't forget it. That means a lot to me. Sometimes people give fake compliments just to be nice. They still mean a lot to me, because how do I know or not? Either way, even if they're just saying it to be nice, to suck up or whatever, it's still nice. They're still being nice. So anyway, so Lenny was always like a big supporter of mine, and like, then he's like always trying to come up with ideas to help me. He's like, you should do the wave, or you should do this move, or like, why don't you do this? And like, he like actually cared. Like, he was getting no benefit of this whatsoever. And did I mention at this time, Lenny was the best heel on the roster? He was incredible. He was managing. He was a bit overexposed because he was out there for half the matches, but with good reason, because a lot of people were coming to see him. He was one of the stars of the show, without a doubt, and it's really hard to get heel heat nowadays, and he got such heel heat that people hated him so much that they started to love him. And not to mention all this stuff that I'm talking about, like, he always encouraged me. Then I got injured, and he encouraged me. I got injured another time, he encouraged me. He always sent me nice messages. He always picked me up. He was always positive. And, but not to mention that, I found out that he went to the same wrestling school as me, with Ike Shaw. And then it blew my mind, because he had stories that I had never heard, because he was there way before me. He was there when it was ICW, and I was there when it was ACW. This man has been around the business for a long time. When he was a young man, he was doing most of Ike Shaw's work, and I don't even think he was probably like 17 or 18 years old at this point, and he was like selling advertising for the wrestling shows and doing really well at it. Like, people don't know how smart this guy is. He's owned a couple of his own stores. Like, he really, his talent is beyond borders. He has so much incredible talent. He's good at everything he does. Anything he puts his mind to, he's successful at. And so anyway, he always says nice things and uplifts me, and that really means a lot. And then, like, he also, like, motivates me too. And then, like, so when I broke my ankle, he was like, oh man, I thought we were going to be a tag team. Like, we always talked about we should be a tag team, and it was just like a running little joke kind of thing. And I don't know if both of us really knew if it was serious, because at first Lenny was a heel. We really wanted to wrestle against each other, and I was a face. And then it's like, maybe for a team we could do even less, and it seems like more, because you only got to do half of your normal thing, because the other person can do the other half. Well, anyway, it was discussed. And then all of a sudden, I broke my ankle, and overnight, Lenny becomes the biggest face in the PWA. Crazy, I know, but it's just like, it's like one of those things where if you see someone and they do a good job of making you hate them so much that eventually as a fan, you just gotta respect them. You respect them for how well they've done their job, because wrestling fans know too much about wrestling nowadays. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there trying to sell t-shirts with a broken ankle. Lenny comes out and wrestles Eric Kearney. Eric Kearney. And he wrestles Eric Kearney and gets the biggest reaction. Mind you, that was the match Josh Alexander wrestled Speedball, and the fans were really into that match. But as far as being the biggest face, the fans were going crazy for Lenny. And I'm like, damn, I thought Lenny wanted to be partnered to ride my coattails and my pops. Maybe it's going to be the other way around. Like, maybe I could ride his coattails. Like, wouldn't that be great? So anyway, we talked about it and discussed it, and I didn't know if my heart was truly in it. I didn't know. Like, I was having fun doing singles, and it's always scary to try something new, although I knew if I was going to do it, he was the right person to do it for, or do it with. And but it's always scary to try something new because you don't know how it will work. So anyways, it comes up, there's a 12-year anniversary show coming up. And I know I'm scheduled to be on it. Don't really know what I'm doing. Don't really care. Just happy to be a part of it. Maybe get some Willie shows filmed or whatnot. So they say there's a tag team gauntlet match. And apparently Lenny's looking for a partner. And he comes to me in the back and he's like, I hope you're ready to be my partner. And I think he's just joking with me. I'm like, seriously? Because I seen him put out something on Facebook that he was looking for a partner. And I'm like, really? Me? Like, I still don't believe him. I'm giving him a hard time probably. He's probably like, okay, be quiet. And I'm like that little dog from the Looney Tunes where I'm like, hey Ralph, hey Ralph, hey Ralph. And Lenny's like, shut up. Like, Lenny's so calm, and like, when he says something, he can say like 3 words, and you're just like, alright. You feel comfortable and secure with what Lenny's saying. And I'm like, so what about this, and what about this, and oh, what about this, and what about this? And he's like, it'll be fine. So anyway, so I'm like, yes, is this actually happening? And then not only that, all the teams have competed in the tag team gauntlet match. So Lenny walks out. There's one team left, the Swole Patrol, and then Lenny walks out, and I almost got emotional backstage because he said, I found a partner, because the crowd was going crazy because the Swole Patrol were like, you got no friends, you need a partner. And the crowd was like, we're his friends, we're his friends. And they're just going crazy for Lenny. Like, he did not need to share this spotlight with me whatsoever, because he had them right where he wanted them. So he says, I found a partner. Not only did I find the partner, I found the best partner you can get. And I was just like, wow. And that meant a lot to me. And plus, Mike Hart just did a really emotional speech before this that I was still thinking about, because he had mentioned me. And so anyways, a lot was going through my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, that means I better get the heck out there. So I go out there, and I'm just like fired up. And I'm just like going crazy, and I'm just like hitting Mr. Atlantis with all I've got. And the next thing I know, I don't even know what's going on here. I don't think the match has even started. I think we're just like attacking. I don't even know if we're in the match. I don't know if it's an official match, like if we're actually entered in this thing, or we're just like announcing ourselves that we're going to be a team. So anyways, all of a sudden I turn around, I hit Mr. Atlantis with a knee lift. And then Lenny comes off with an elbow drop. May I mention that this was the first contest of the night as well, so the crowd was, they were revved up. So Lenny drops his huge elbow drop, like no one else does anymore, a real classic, perfect elbow drop. And the ref counts, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just like already excited, not even really still, I can't compute what's going on. And the ref hands us the tag team championship, and raises our hands, and me and Lenny are the tag team champions. And this just seems too good to be true. And then Lenny's messaging me like, what's our team name gonna be? Should we get matching tights? And he probably is just like, even now, he's probably like, Elian, shut up, why are you telling, this is our personal private stuff. But I don't care, man, I want the world to know, Lenny is the best partner you could ever have, and we're gonna take the world by storm. When I say the world, maybe just Ontario. Maybe even just PWA. But if anyone else doesn't book us, you're missing out, because Lenny Lilac and Elian Habanero are the most charismatic tag team. They're the funniest duo, like 2 complete opposites. And also, they'll get the crowd. They will sell tickets. People will want to see them in the ring. There's not a lot of people that can do what they do. And I'm just so blessed for Lenny. He works his butt off. And he's on a vacation right now. And then he even tagged me on the photo for like drinking some Havana Club stuff. And like, he really is the nicest guy. He thinks about me all the time. I think about him all the time. Like, I try not to send him too much messages because I don't want to be too pestery. But I'm always thinking about Lenny, Lenny, Lenny. So I just want to do a tribute to him. He's done a lot in this business. But more specifically, since this is the show, W.I.L.L.I.W show, Elian's W.I.L.L.I.W show, he's done a lot for me. And he probably doesn't even realize it until now, so I hope this helps him realize it. And not only that, this is just the beginning. We have only scratched the surface. We're only at 0.005% of what we're capable of doing. Lenny Lilac, Elian Habanero. I don't know what our tag team name is yet. Maybe we should do a poll. What do the fans think? What do you think should be our tag team name? But anyway, we are the PWA Tag Team Champions. We'll take on all tag teams. As long as we get paid to get there, because we both have kids, we both can't be going out there for free, but if we get paid to get out there, we will get out there. And we'll prove ourselves. So Lenny, I love you, man. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for choosing me. It's a true honor to be your tag team partner. You are the best partner anyone could ever ask for, and I'm just so excited. I just want to talk about you all day, but I'll keep it short. You're probably like, okay, that's enough, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe I should do a part 2. But remember, on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling, and I love Lenny. Cuba!